right, we back with another episode. Y'all thought we was gone. Y'all, I know a lot of y'all was just like, wait, did they not them missing a week? Not them not being not them being inconsistent with content. No, we definitely did took that 1 week off because of the holiday. You know, spend some time. We are a self-care podcast, so it kind of look weird if we didn't take time for self-care. I feel like it would just be we weren't doing what we preach. So we had to lead by example and take a week off for the holiday. But yeah, we are back. I'm gonna let my sister kick us off on this lovely Monday.
Well, I am Dr. E.
And I am Donald Coleman.
And this is Unapologetic Conversations with the Colemans.
Yes, we love to hear it. Love to hear it. So this morning we're gonna start off with our little coffee segment. Today I'm in the trenches today. I woke up. This is pretty early for me. Okay, if you can't tell, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know I look a little tired, a little sleepy, a little sleep deprived. That is because, you know, waking up anytime before 10 now, like since I started my summer semester, has just been non-existent for me. Like last semester, I used to wake up, y'all, at like 6:45 in the morning. I used to go to the gym. I was like on my productive-ish, right? And now I'm barely waking up after 10. And it's like, wow, like I really fall deep in the trenches. So today I got some water to hydrate me. And I didn't have any iced coffee in my refrigerator, but I had this. I don't know if my ring light will let me be great.
There you go.
See it a little. You can see it a little bit. It's the new Mountain Dew Rise energy drink.
Okay.
It says it has something in it to help your immune system, and also it has 180 milligrams of caffeine. So it's gonna give me that mental boost that I need.
Talk about dopamine and serotonin surge, okay?
Listen, sometimes that's needed, especially if this is a drink you would drink like if you in between classes, you need a cool little pick me up, you know, because sometimes them in between times during class you be drained.
Shouts out to Mountain Dew, okay?
Listen, them and Red Bull, because without them, a lot of people wouldn't have degrees right now, okay?
Tell me about it. I used to love me a good Red Bull. Oh my goodness. But this morning, y'all, as you can see, I'm with my Jesus and coffee mug because unlike my brother, I need straight up Pike Place, 2 pumps of peppermint, 4 raw sugar. Every morning, I have to start with my Starbucks. I can't do it. I would not be sitting here and being a pleasant citizen if I did not have my coffee. So I'm drinking it this morning. It's going down.
I feel like, you know, caffeine is just one of those things. You just got to get it how you can get it. I mean, some people get it through coffee. Some people get it through like energy drinks or like other forms like through tea and stuff like that. If I would have had my teas, because there are some teas actually that, you know, have caffeine in them naturally, if they aren't herbal, I believe. So, yeah, I just feel like if you can get
sometimes you do go the tea route.
Yeah, I do. Like if I have actually, I think I have brought a couple of teas on here, because I like, you know, brewing teas and drinking it with honey. I feel like I would prefer that over coffee sometimes. I know it's a shocker.
That could never come out of my mouth. Like, say that I prefer tea over coffee. That's such a lie.
I mean, because I think sometimes, like, I would prefer a good tea over, like, strong coffee sometimes. Like, it just depends on if I really need, like, you know, because sometimes you need, like, four espressos. Like, you need, you know, like, there's a time and a place for that, you know? And I feel like sometimes, you know, tea fulfills that for me. It gives what it needs to give.
It does. I'm not gonna lie. It's some good teas out there that's good for different purposes. Like it's a oolong tea. Mm-hmm. That is my favorite. Ladies, let me drop a jewel. In addition to, of course, vitamin supplements by Dr. E, Slimming of the Waist, glowing skin, oolong tea is another trick to the trade. It flattens the waistline, it speeds up the metabolism, and it exfoliates naturally from the inside out the skin. So if you're looking to go on vacation this summer, you're trying to tighten up that waist, get them LBs down, get that skin glowing without the foundation, get you some oolong tea.
I think I have an idea for the next ebook. Just be like, Dr. E presents How to Be a Hot Girl in Less Than a Week. I think, I honestly, I'm publisher material. At this point, I'm an agent. Hire me, book me.
Listen, at this point, if I could have my brother in a million different directions behind the scenes, listen, I tell y'all, I have a million ideas a day. And he like, we don't have time for that. Okay. We're barely doing the podcast right now.
Listen, y'all, she's just everywhere. But moving on to tools and techniques, I'm gonna let you take that away.
Shouts out to tools and techniques this week. Last week, guys, was definitely the holiday, so we did not record, but it was also like a self-care day for us. For me personally, I was going to be going into a week where I was going to be working 6 days straight, no break. So I had to really like contact my brother and let him know like I really need a self-care day. I need this day where I have to be not responsible. And as an adult, sometimes we don't take those days to be like, okay, today I just need to turn off. And it doesn't mean that you have to go out to the club and turn up and do all of these crazy things. It just meant that particular day, I didn't want to have an alarm clock. I didn't want to have to be responsible for anybody else's needs or wants. I just needed a day to sit back and recharge. And so, because we are a self care podcast, because we do pour into other people on and off the clock in regards to our podcast, we do have to have those days where we take time to sit back and just allow ourselves that time to growth and have self care development. So, that was my tool and technique that I personally utilized this last week that gave me the space to be able to wake up for 6 days straight and work and do all the things that I needed to do for me. So that's my tool and technique of the week.
Yeah, I think I kind of resonate with that a little bit. As far as just, and that's the cool thing about, I guess, being self-employed or like being the boss of your own project or whatever you're doing is because you have the luxury and the privilege to kind of be like, hey, I'm taking self-care time. Like you taking your own PTO. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to like that's the thing. And I tell people all the time about having a podcast or like really I think being a content creator. That's one of the perks about it is you literally choose and dictate when it is you make content. I think for a lot of people, that kind of flexibility allows them to balance their work life and also have good mental health.
Yes, I agree.
So I definitely resonate with that a little bit. As like you said, we took a break because of the holiday. Also, speaking of holiday, as we're recording this, it is the start of Pride Month. So to all of our listeners, happy Pride. Stay safe. We're still dealing with the Pangea, the Pythagorean theorem.
The panorama.
The panorama, the Panera's bread.
Oh, I wish I had some Panera bread right now.
It do sound kind of good. Not us. Then we manifested food and now we're hungry.
Exactly.
But moving on to stone of the week. So this week's stone, I'm gonna show you. It's an opal. It's a common opal, actually. If my ring light will let me be great. Oh, okay.
Okay, shouts out to the focus.
Right, this new camera. Get into it. But yeah, so with opal's a very diverse stone. There are different types of opal, and there's different names for each. So this one is more of just a common opal. And the cool thing about this crystal is that when it grows, it can take form of any color. So it can go from yellow to orange to red to white. Some are colorless, translucent. So that's what I like about it. It's so unique, just depending on the environment that it grows in. Y'all, I'm also like a kind of like a geologist nerd, like earth science nerd, low key,
Love it.
just a little bit. So the cool thing about opal is that it's a really good stone to have if you feel like you don't have like stability or support. So I tell people who struggle with like relationships or just like, financial stability, keep an opal around because it supports stability. It
Okay.
supports support. So and it's a really good stone to have also because it resonates with the crown chakra. So the crown chakra kind of vibrates within all the chakra points in the body. So if you need something to kind of help, reset, realign your chakra points, having an opal is really good to have. And of course, I will always post Song of the Week on our Instagram. If you're not following us,
Make sure you check us out on Instagram at unapologetically_Coleman and also on YouTube at Unapologetic Conversations with the Colemans.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people kind of sleep on the fact that we have a YouTube and it's not appreciated.
Don't y'all want to see our lovely faces?
I mean, of course, audio is always the best, but video be there sometimes because you get to see our expressions.
Of
Um,
course.
and you always get to see how she comes in every day, every episode looking like a supermodel. Like,
Skin listen, let me tell y'all, skin glowing, eyelashes is flowing, okay? Off y'all. Go check us out.
it's a hot girl anthem.
Y'all, he always talking about I'm a hot girl. Seriously, I'm really
Listen, you know
low.
how there's like hot girl Meg. This is hot girl Ebony. Okay.
Yes. Dr. Bay,
At this
okay?
point, Meg, DM us because we might need to work something out.
Listen, all I need to do is to do a workout hot girl summer ebook with Meg Thee Stallion.
Listen, we manifest. Listen, we
Dollar,
come on here
dollar
and
sign.
manifest with you guys. Like, it's amazing. So moving on, we're gonna go ahead with enlightenment of the week. I'm gonna let you
Yes.
share your enlightenment.
So today I brought you guys, people will throw stones at you. Don't throw them back. Collect them all and build an empire. Let me say this one time again. People will throw stones at you. Don't throw them back. Collect them all and build an empire. Oh, snap, snap, snaps for the tea.
Why
So
should be
I
finding all the
love,
good quotes? Like, is there like a subscription, like a website? Like, am I not hip to?
listen, I honestly love to search memes that's like motivational quotes. So I find them, I collect them, and I have a million of them in my photo reel. So that's where they're coming from. But I like this one in particular because throughout life, we always say like we have our haters, they are motivators. And a lot of times we don't realize that sometimes when we acknowledge too much of people that's negative in our lives, that negativity becomes us. So as much as you try to say that you're reflecting, I don't care about the haters, I don't see my haters, the more that you're acknowledging them, you're allowing them cognitive space, mind space, that really is becoming a perception of your reality. So in this particular quote, acknowledge the fact that yes, you will have people that want to bring you down, maybe not see you grow and develop into who you know you should be. Don't allow those people to consume anything in your world, especially not your mind space. You take all of the negativity, you ride it out, but you still become successful by realizing wisdom is in envy. And envy is something that should be utilized as motivation, but something that should never occupy your mind space. So that is my enlightenment of the week.
Wow, you come back after a week break and you just set the trail ablaze. I mean,
And just
she always
ready.
coming through. Like, y'all, if you've been keeping up with us, y'all know she always comes in heavy with the quotes. Like,
Yes.
just always coming through.
Love
No matter what the occasion is, she gonna find her a good quote. Okay, that's just something guaranteed.
Factual.
So moving on to today's topic, we're going to be talking
Yes.
about what is taking personal inventory. So I think I'm gonna let you kind of kick it off. Like, what do you kind of define as like taking that time off, like really looking back and kind of reflecting that stuff?
So, I really like to listen to The Breakfast Club. I listen to, what is it, Ebro in the Morning with Peter Rosenberg, and my girl Laura. Shouts out to the girls. But there was one topic that was trending about Naomi Osaka.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So, as you guys know, or maybe don't know, Naomi Osaka is a Japanese professional tennis player. She has been ranked number 1 by the Women's Tennis Association, and she is the first Asian player to hold the top ranking in singles. She is a 4-time Grand Slam singles champion and is the reigning champion at the US Open and in the Australia Open. So baby girl got credentials. She has
Credentials, medals, awards,
listen.
accolades, all that.
So when I heard her name come up, I just knew it was going to be associated with excellence. She's a young woman. She has all of these high accolades. And then I heard that Naomi Osaka, she withdrew from the French Open. So I took that point to think maybe she was injured or, something was wrong because someone of that particular caliber that has literally poured all of her energy, her time, her career into being this phenomenal tennis player, I knew something drastic had to have went wrong for her not to pursue such a big tournament. So the more and more I start researching and listening to my podcast that addresses different situations, I realized the reason why she pulled out was because of her mental health concerns, right? And immediately, because I am like this self-care expert, self-care guru, have done research on it, I was proud of her. I was happy that she was able to, on national platforms, acknowledge the fact that her boundary is her healthcare, her mental health care, especially. And because she felt as though she couldn't show up and be present in a particular moment because of her healthcare, she decided to take those days. And I just knew people would be receptive of it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, we're living in a nowadays where people are realizing what social anxiety really is, understanding what it is to be isolated, and knowing that it's important to take care of your mental health because that's when you really realize things are not there when you spend time alone and realize that, man, I have a lot of things I need to work on, a lot of things that I need to personally develop, and I need to be okay with being alone with me. So when I seen she was taking time to do that, I was proud of her. But then I'm going on other news outlets, and I'm just gonna say other non-diverse news outlets. And I was seeing that they were shaming her, saying that how dare she, we allow her in these spaces and how dare she snubs us for her own mental health. And so that was why I wanted to talk about taking self inventory and understanding what self inventory is for you and why it's called self inventory, not other people inventory of who you should be or inventory at what other people think your inventory should be, but self inventory for yourself. But before we extrapolate that a little bit more, did you see the news article, Donald?
No. Is it
Okay.
because I seen, so if we're talking about her specifically right now, I like seen on Instagram, that's the first place I seen it, where it was like breaking news, like because it was a big thing, like
Yeah.
it was on all like social media platforms and all news outlets. Like this is a big deal for her to
Was.
withdraw from this. And when I found out further that, like you said, it was due to mental health concerns, I was proud of her. I think for people like celebrities, athletes, I feel like especially because they have a lot to live up for, especially when you hold the big title of being number one, right? Because there's always pressure. What's that saying? He who holds the crown, don't. don't bear its weight or she'll be crushed or something like that. I think she's a prime example of, she's not willing to let the crown suffocate her. And I think that speaks volumes.
Agree.
Because I think, when she won against, Serena Williams, she was named, the top woman in that sport, you know, she was met with a lot of encouragement, a lot of backlash. And I think that, because if you guys remember when she won against that match against Serena Williams, a lot of eyes now focused on her. She was in this new spotlight, this new realm of, wow, like, you're better than Serena Williams. Like, and that, if you know
Oh, yeah.
sports or just an ounce of it, that that's a big deal. So for her to take that time to kind of be alone and be with, immediate family, I think that's the example that I wish a lot of people follow, because she's not willing to sacrifice her mental health over this. And I think she is going to be the role model for a lot of young athletes coming up.
I agree.
And not only in her sport, but in other sports as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they even talked about on this news outlet that Naomi Osaka was fined and threatened with future suspensions from other Grand Slams after making the decision not to take part in post-match press conferences, citing concerns for her mental health. So they acknowledge the fact that she is having mental health concerns, but then say she's threatened to be suspended from other. So to me, right, in our society, we tell people to take care, make sure that, how are you? We ask those questions. I mean, are you taking care of yourself? But really, it's like, does our society really promote self-care? Does it really promote self-care alignment? Does it really promote allowing people space for mental health concerns or space just to really take care of themselves to recharge? Or are we living in a society that is saying all of these things, but it's really just lip service? Right. And so when I look at personal self inventory, it allows for me to realize that I have to be in charge of it. And just like in her situation, it's hard for me. I am a type A personality. And if you guys don't know what that is, like, I literally want to do a million different things in one day. One day. Okay. And it's like, if I really focus and put my mind to it, I'll accomplish all of those things in that one day. But the mental burnout, the mental anguish after that doesn't allow for me to want to continue to do that all the time, because then burnout becomes real. And I respect her in her situation and in her craft, because when you really do love something that much, to actually step away from it, even for a moment, shows that you are growing in a way that is an outside box thinker, and it's not going to always be receptive to everybody, right? Everybody is not going to understand what it is to take those mental health days. Everybody is not going to understand what it is that you might not want to go out every weekend to the club to turn up, or you might have to miss out on family vacations because you have other things that you need to prioritize. These are all the different ways that self-care or self-inventory can align and become your reality. But the world that we live in is very self-serving. So if you allow yourself to become a part of the self-serving world, then you're not prioritizing who you are and putting yourself first, especially when it comes to your mental health. So I wanted to highlight her in this particular episode because I know it was hard. It's so hard to do the abnormal in this quote unquote traditional world of you're supposed to work, not sleep, no days off. That's BS. Okay, I call BS. You need days off. You need days to sit back and reflect. And you need days where you sit out and veg out on the couch and watch Netflix. It's self-care alignment. It's personal self-inventory. Because if you're always giving and giving and giving, when it is time to relax because you don't have a relationship with yourself in a relaxed mode, you don't even know what relaxing looks like for you. So you're sitting on the couch trying to watch TV and your body is still like, doing a million different things because you haven't given your body space to realize what relaxing and self-inventory looks like and is pleasing for you. So I just wanted to shout out my girl Naomi Osaka for taking the reins with her mental health concerns and really just allowing herself to say, I know that other people might not be cool with it, but I have to be cool with this for me. So
Yeah, and I definitely like going back to, just trying to wrap it all together. I feel like people think that she made this choice lightly. And that's concerning because that means that people think that people use mental health as like an excuse when it really it's a
right.
serious matter, right? And seeing, I don't know if you've like been on social media these last couple of days, seeing the comments, but she's kind of getting dragged like about it. Like she's definitely, yeah, like a lot of people, think that it's like, oh, like that's, one of the responsibilities as an athlete, you have to grind it out. And it's like this really negative attitude towards it. And I really just applaud her even more because it's like, despite all of that, she's setting a hard boundary with not only herself, but with other people that, hey, I'm not going to do this if I'm not going to be here 100%. And that means mind, body, and spirit. And
Exactly.
I feel like a lot of athletes need to kind of take on that kind of model when it comes to dealing with sports because, yes, you could be here 100% physically, but if you're not 100% here mentally, then what are you doing here?
Exactly.
Because a high intensity sport like that, and at the level she's at, you have to be at your 100% on all fronts. Because even if you're lacking just 2%, that could cost you a match or that could cost you the title. So I'm glad that, she's recognizing that and that she's taking steps to, and really this is an investment on herself, right? Because we don't look at time off or self-care days, that's an investment because you're investing, that time off to kind of look at yourself, realign yourself, your goals, your energy,
Definitely.
and to move, moving forward. So a lot of people aren't in that headspace. A lot of people are just like, well, she's not competing, she must not, care about the sport. I seen one comment, someone was just like, uh really just bashing her, like, and they call her like the comment ended was like shake my head, and they say that this is the number one like woman in the sport right now, like just very
Oh
like,
my
yeah, I
goodness.
saw it and I was just like, wow, y'all are vicious. Like I really
Yeah,
hope her social media team is keeping her away from Instagram and Twitter right now, because there are like comments like that, like, and that's just another point that I want to address too. When you're taking inventory, I think it's important to step away from social media, and we've definitely talked about how social media plays an impact on one's mental health and stuff, but I really think that it just goes to show that when you're in the spotlight like that, every move you make is going to be looked at, it's gonna be frowned upon either way. If she would have went in and she would have did poorly on the matches, she would have got talked about. And she was gonna get talked about if she was gonna take the time off anyway. So I'm glad that at least she recognized that and was like, I'm gonna go the route where I'm gonna get this investment on me because I'm taking care of my mental health.
exactly.
So I think,
Imagine if she would have went into a press conference and because she was telling you she's had her mental health
mhm.
concerns, you're asking her these questions and you know they're very like invasive, right? Asking her all of these questions and then she responds in a negative way. That would have been the highlight, right? Naomi Osaka, American's golden child, has now turned rogue. It's like they are waiting to feast on her in so many different ways. And that's the world that we live in. Going back to the quote that I gave earlier and during the Enlightenment period. Listen, people gonna throw stones. They're going to throw stones. But I love the fact that she was able to collect all her little stones, put them in her back pocket, and say, okay. Glad y'all got it. I'm going to now go home, take care of myself. And I'm sure when she comes back, she's going to be in beast mode. She's going to be at the top of her professional career because she took that time to just allow herself to be with her thoughts, be with herself, and to give herself all the things that she needs. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't never know what's going on in other people's lives, whether it's Naomi Osaka or your personal life. And you don't have to tell everybody everything. But sometimes when you do allow yourself that space to sit back, maybe rest up, eat, go to the gym, then when it's time to check back into reality, then you're able to check back as your best self because you allow for yourself to sit back and recharge. So I just think that it was just dope of her to do that because I knew if she would have came up to that press conference and showed out, that would have been, listen, the highlight. You think mine was just crazy? Imagine the things they would have said, right?
Yeah, and I feel like, either way, she was going to be talked about. And I think anything, when you make a decision that's mental health related or like one of the factors involved mental health, I think is going to be scrutinized either or.
I agree.
I feel like, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of people, just I'm talking about the United States alone, that are living with social anxiety. And people think, oh, you just need to like tough through it or you just need to work through it, when it's not like that. Like, it's pretty terrifying. Like, she has to get up in front of all these people. Like, you are in a sport where every move you make is looked upon. They're like, oh, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot mentally, it's a lot physically. And I'm glad that, now, at least I want to say in the last couple of years, a lot of people are starting to take into consideration that mental health does, affect your physical performance. So like you said earlier, I bet, she's gonna come back from this beast mode. Like, I'm pretty sure she's just not gonna. I mean, whatever she does behind closed doors, do what you need to do to get yourself right. But I'm pretty sure she's not gonna be at home just slacking. I'm pretty sure she's still, gonna be at the gym, doing her regular routines and stuff because. I mean, as an athlete, that's kind of what ingrained in you, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's her form of self-care, like going to the gym, having a regimen, and we've definitely talked about that a ton in past episodes. But I think when we kind of boil it back down to for regular people, I think if I had to give any kind of advice, it's just to take that time off, take that day or two or three off. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is your life, first and foremost. Secondly, that is your mind, your mental. So, what works for me, like, there's some people who work best under pressure. They like the constant feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, they thrive off of that. It makes them better, sharper. There are some people who are just wired like that. Other people, you have to take things like at slower paces. You have to take more mental health days off, like, and that doesn't mean that they're any less or any better than. It's just that your mental has been wired and set up that you need to take more frequent days to recharge and to get yourself right. So,
And give yourself that grace. I agree with you. My summary of it all will be definitely for self inventory. Your self inventory is allowed to look different. It doesn't have to look like, and we said this for sure on here. Your self inventory does not have to look like a perfect display of it on Instagram. It doesn't have to look like your favorite singer or rapper or athlete. It can look like however you want it to look, right? Because it's your self inventory, it's your self care. So allow yourself grace. Allow yourself to be unapologetic on how things look. Self inventory doesn't always have to be pretty. It could be sweatpants, hair tied up. It can be a whole pizza sitting on your lap for that 24-hour period. Watch it because you just need to zone out. It can look a lot of different ways, but take that time, allow yourself that time to recharge and create space that's going to allow for you to develop in a way that when the next time you go up for that job interview or the next time you have your classes starting or you're starting a new job, or you're starting a new business venture, if you have allowed yourself that self-inventory time to recharge, to self-care, love on yourself, when you show up to whatever your task or challenge will be, you will meet it with a clear mind and a sound mindset. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely just getting some of my last points in here because we got to wrap up soon. I just think that it for her and her situation, I think a lot of people think that she just eats, breathes, and sleeps the sport, right? And I think that just kind of highlights how a lot of people feel about mental health and professionalism. Like you're supposed to just eat, breathe, and sleep your job or your school. And that's just not reality, right? I think at the end of the day, once she leaves from the gym or once she leaves from a stadium or a match, she is a life
Right.
outside the sport. Like a lot of people don't
Exactly.
understand, like, actors, politicians, people in these, like in the spotlight or, in the public eye, y'all have to realize that they have a life outside of this. Like when they get off the TV shows or the podcast episodes, like they have a whole life to get back to. You know what I'm saying? So I think seeing her doing what she's doing is going to inspire a lot of people. It's going to make future generations of athletes, not only, like I said earlier, in her sport, but in other sports, really looking like, wow, my mental health does matter. Because I think people are still in this mindset that, mental health isn't a thing, it's a hoax
Yeah.
made up, and that's not the case. So I think my piece of advice I'll have to give someone considering taking personal inventory is to just do it. I feel like no matter if you're in a high stress, busy job or if you're a student, I really encourage you to take that time to just realign yourself because if you are not functioning at 100%, then it's gonna show in your work, in your performance, in your content, whatever it is that you do, it's gonna show. So
Take take time for yourself. Drink that water. Take your vitamins. Eat healthy. Okay, majority of the time. Now, self inventory on them days that you need to sit there with that pizza and watch. Okay, but majority of the time, at least 5 days out the week, at least try to get 30 minutes in of working out, taking your vitamins daily, reading some words of positive affirmation, changing your social circle of hierarchy to meet your needs is so important. So, if you guys can take anything out of this podcast, take the fact that self inventory is yours. That's why inventory is aligned to self. Take those days, take that time, and always recharge. It's so important. Shouts out to my girl, Naomi Osaka, again. You want to come on here, girl? Come on our podcast.
listen, just if you, someone sends this to her, just tell her,
Yes.
we love feature guests on this
Yes.
podcast. So just come through, sit in on the episode. You know, we wouldn't mind that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode.
Yes.
Y'all know we love coming on, giving y'all content. It gave what it needed to give. We always
Yes.
hit the mark. So just a couple of housekeeping things. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure, do I even need to say it? Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. Also,
Right.
make sure you hit the bell icon because if you do, you will never miss an episode.
Right.
Like, if you don't hit that bell icon, what are you doing? Like, that just, liking the video just ain't enough no more. This ain't 2008. Hit that bell icon. Make
Yes.
sure you guys follow us on our Instagram at unapologetically_Coleman. There we will post our Stone of the Weeks and the Enlightenment of the Weeks on our Instagram story. And also, if you make sure you tune in as well, because that's where we post when we have special guests come on. And we may have some merch coming out soon. You never know what's in the future in the deck. So yeah, make sure you just follow us on our Instagram and also follow us on our personal Instagrams too. Y'all know that'll always be linked down below. Am I missing anything?
I think you hit everything. If you guys have any topics that you want to hear on the show, make sure you DM us. You can DM us on our Instagram, which you said is unapologetically_Coleman, or you can email us, which is also linked on our Instagram.
Yes. Also, you didn't talk about your website. This is one episode, like you didn't. We gotta plug that in there at the end. Come on, just
Listen,
do a
you
little
know I
run
was talking
through.
about my vitamin supplement plugs earlier. This is why the skin is popping at 9 something in the morning on a Monday. But if you guys don't know, make sure you check me out at drebonycoleman.com. I have fitness wear, I have ebooks, I have available appointments for wellness coaching, in addition to academic coaching as well. So, and of course, my vitamin supplements by Dr. E. It has launched, it's on the website, it's doing amazing things in people's lives. So make sure that you check me out at drebonycoleman.com.
Yeah, see, we just have to listen. What's the point of
Shameless
having your
plug.
own podcast if you can't even plug your own self?
X, I love it.
Like that's just marketing 101 at this point. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode.
Yes. Bye, guys.